Right, good morning, good evening, and good afternoon to all the geeks out there and out, and welcome to another Geek-Inspired Podcast. For the fourth time running, I've managed to say it correctly.
Indeed.
I feel good. Right, we are here with, oh my god, the sound, Angel. Why?
The number one technical difficulties podcast on the internet strikes again.
Otherwise known as the Technical Difficulties Podcast, yes. We are here with everyone from none other than Dum Dum Die. As you guys already know, down below us here is Wednesday LeFay. Then we have the other people who I can't mention because I don't know their names. So we're gonna let them mention their names one by one. Yeah. Choose who goes first. there are four of you.
Let's go with Neli. Since she's
damn.
Since she opened her mouth, she gets to go first.
Hi guys, I'm Neli. I am the second newest member of Dum Dum Die. And yeah, I'm also a geek and a nerd, technically. Both. Let's say both.
Hi guys, I am Lena. I am the latest edition for Dum Dum Die. And I am also a geek.
I'm Carla, and I am the GM and general world builder / pun maker and dad joker of Dum Dum Die.
And I am not a geek.
That sort of went without saying.
But yeah.
Well,
Sounds
welcome,
like
guys.
Those AA meetings. Hi.
I was going to say something, but, I don't want to disrespect the DM. I love my character too much.
Yeah, we're playing tomorrow. I can kill you very quickly.
I don't do that.
Guys, beware of rocks falling and everybody dying. It can happen at any time.
Hey, hello. Do you want me to introduce myself again? Okay, fine. Just because you're asking, hi, I'm Wednesday, and I am at the moment the oldest member aside from the GM of Dum Dum Die. Long-standing veteran member, and I am I wouldn't exactly call myself a geek. I told you guys the last time I'm more of a snobby geek. I'm your geek snob variant.
But that makes you more geek. I tried to explain to you last time.
Oh.
That's what being it means, doing things that normal people don't do. But thanks for joining, guys. It's fun to have you on. I've been listening to Dum Dum Die, I think, since it came out, but then life got ahead of me, and I kind of, at season 2, I think I fell off. But I did see the episode with Lena making a character, explaining a character, which was pretty cool. And at some point, I will catch up, maybe at this point at retirement, because everybody's going to hustle for their lives in 2020. I'm sure you guys can understand. But Carla, why don't you give us a rundown of what Dum Dum Die is and how it came about and what you guys are doing there?
Sure. So Dum Dum Die is an all-female, all-awesome D&D 5th edition homebrew, initially a podcast only, but then it's now moved on to Twitch, where we do an interactive stream where people in the chat can get involved and help me co-GM and create amazing things, and also sometimes support the players, but probably not. It started as actually with our friend Tristan and Kirsten, who Kirsten used to play in Dum Dum Die, and Tristan was a co-producer who's GM'd for us once or twice and written modules for us. It started as a thought experiment for using improvisational play such as Dungeons and Dragons as theatre, because some of us are also theatre nerds. And from there, we just expanded it into a regular game that we play all the time and try and create a place where everyone feels welcome at the table and have events where we extend that, I guess. Yeah, that's where you guys were all supposed to say, yeah, that's right, Carla, we agree.
Absolutely.
Where is the support? There's no bards or clerics around here, right?
She was so into it, though. I mean, I didn't want to interrupt. She was so passionate. It's fun.
So how did the rest of you get into Dum Dum Die?
I don't know. I should start probably. So Carla and I had role played in a campaign before, just one campaign, because we have mutual friends. And she called me up one day and was like, "Hey, do you want to play Dungeons and Dragons?" And I was like, I don't really like Dungeons and Dragons. And she's like, "Yeah, but it'll be really cool. Kind of like we're doing this, we have this thing, and it's to do with like trying to see whether or not we can actually work with Dungeons and Dragons and release a podcast that's all women, like quite diverse." And I was like, "Okay, cool, I'll audition for it." The auditioning was quite hectic. I've never had like anxiety for like role playing before, where you're just like, "Oh my god, what if I fail this audition? Does it mean that I'm actually a really shitty role player?" I don't know.
Yeah. Did you get critiqued on your like dice rolling technique?
Yeah, and it was hectic because there were so many stages, and then there were things we had to do. Like I had to play board games to be a part of this group, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, are you seriously going to make me play a board game right now?"
We wanted to see people's vibes, like, because we didn't know, right?
Yeah,
and I suppose every table kind of auditions you. They're just not as blatant. They're like, "Hey, come join our table." And then they're like, "Yeah, we don't game anymore." Meanwhile, they totally do. They just lie to you.
So I got in via Wednesday, actually. She told me that there was an opening, and if I was interested, and I said yes. And then I simmered down for a few months. And actually, last year, May as well, they needed a sub very last minute, and I agreed. I almost didn't agree because at that point I was purple, so I was like, not mobile. And I had so much fun. So excited to play, like, actually get into this. And then I got asked to join full time last year.
So I mean, I've known Carla for a few years now, and we used to play together for live action role play in Tales of Tiana. And I mean, I wasn't actually part of her group in the thing, but we did bump into one another, and we did role play together and fight together, and it was like a camaraderie, fancy words, and I had a lot of fun. And then me and Carla kind of became friends through the role playing aspect, and then we cosplayed together, and we did all sorts of good fun stuff together. And then Carla popped me a WhatsApp in early April, just after lockdown started, and said that they needed a player for Dum Dum Die, and she wanted to know if I was interested. And I mean, for me, it was like a very simple decision. I was like, hell yes, let me get into this. Just do it. Add me. I don't even care what the character. I'm gonna play it. It's fine. Let's go.
Okay, so you were all about
Nice.
Dum Dum Die. Kez, do you have any questions?
When you're not fighting monsters, unequipped or leading characters to their doom, what else do you do for fun?
Yeah.
I think you have to pick a person.
Yeah.
Wait, let's pick an order. I think we should go with Carla, Wednesday, Neli, and then Lena. Makes sense, chronological.
Oh, we can just do them all and say, right, well, this person answer that question. This person answer
If you,
that.
if you want to mix it up like that, you can. Yeah.
Don't put us on the spot like that.
But that's fun. That's the whole point.
I mean, wow. Yeah.
Are we playing Discord roulette, or are we going in order?
We're in order, Carla.
Okay. I was hoping, because I'm not that cool. I basically work, I study, I play with my doges. I do burlesque. That's what I do when I'm not doing this.
Yes, at Mimi Lumiao.
That's it.
Okay, what do I do for fun? I do a lot of things. My favorite pre-lockdown was going clubbing, which obviously I can't do anymore.
These days are over.
Yeah, otherwise I generally just really enjoy socializing. And also, like, I roleplay on the side of Dum Dum Die as well. So I'm running quite a few campaigns, and I roleplay whenever I can. So that's all my funsies.
As for me, I work. Also, I do little on the side as well. I read. I do some occasional stalking if I got some spare time. And there's time for stalking. I obsess over my dog, and yeah, nowadays I'm obsessed with YouTube and like online stuff. So I watch a lot of stuff, movies. I love movies. Let's say that.
Just to say that.
Nice.
Yeah, I've got a long list of hobbies that I should probably cut down on because I enjoy way too many things.
Yeah.
Let's go with cosplaying, LARPing, board games, role-playing, painting, crafting, miniatures, leatherworking, gaming, professional gaming. Just like
all of it.
Pokemon, trading card games, Magic the Gathering. It's just, it continues.
Oh, wow.
Everything.
All of the above.
I'm a geek, okay? I'm a geek.
Where do you have time to sleep doing all that stuff?
I kind of have to make time for each hobby, I guess, and then something else collects dust while I'm busy with something else. Yeah. I'm just looking around in my room and it's like, oh, look, there's something I need to finish. I probably need to paint those. Oh, I was busy with that. Yeah, that's my life.
How long has each of you guys been playing Dungeons and Dragons? Like, what was your first experience?
So mine was actually with Wednesday and Neli, the first time ever, and I will remember this role playing event as long as I live because I thought I did it wrong, and my GM David at that point he basically set up how I believe GMing should be. From then he's like, did you have fun? Was what your character would do? Then you did it right. So basically he's like, everyone in the hotel, all the werewolves in the hotel are sleeping. It's a hotel filled with werewolves. I'm like, I'm gonna kick the door down. He goes, in the sleeping werewolf hotel where they are sleeping. Yeah. All the werewolves wake up. I'm like, yo, guys, I'm sorry. And that was like, what, maybe 5 years ago? 5 years ago max. So I'm like new to role playing.
So I would assume that it was something along the lines of kick the door and go, yeah, motherfucker, who wants some? Who wants some? That I can picture you doing that, actually.
I mean, you're not incorrect. But at a level 1, it doesn't work out as well in your mind as it does.
Pretty much.
That was fun, though.
It was fun being killed by werewolves. Everyone loves to be bitten by them, you know.
We died later. Or later.
Yeah, we died much later. Okay, so I'm like the granny role player of the group that we figured out about a week ago. I've been role playing for 18 years about. And my first experience was actually getting kicked in the nads in a role playing game as a male character, and it's kind of, for quite a long time, I refused to play male characters afterwards. I actually burst into tears.
Oh, no.
So the person who kicked me scored a crit, and for some reason I was really immersed in this game, and I started crying. It was quite unpleasant. But I'm still role playing, so obviously it was okay. It was fine. My imaginary nads are okay. They're fine.
My I think the first time I played was roughly 12 or 13 years ago with Wednesday. And it was a World of Darkness campaign. I really enjoyed it because I got so into it because I just dress up and everything, go all out. No one wanted to dress up, which was just frustrating for me. And I really loved it. Into a snow leopard, I could do this, I could do that. I really miss my character. It's not. I still remember him. My first character was male. Good times. But I never got kicked in that, so thanks for that.
Well, I don't accurately remember when I did my first D&D session. I just remember how it went. It was a lot of fun, and the ironic part was, for the longest time, I didn't want to play D&D. I mean, I was into all sorts of other geek things, and I was like, but why do I need to D&D if I can just go LARPing? It's just, I can just live action that stuff. And my friend Gareth, who I used to play Pokemon with, told me, listen, I needed a couple of people to do a D&D group. And I'm like, okay, sure, man, whatever, we'll do this. And I've got no idea what this is. And he's like, well, here's Pathfinder 4E. Go study. Holy crap, that's a lot of rules and stuff that you need to know to play that game. And we didn't start at like a level 1. We started at a level 15 campaign.
What?
Wow.
Yeah, that was my first roleplay. I think it was about 7-8 years ago. I mean, that figure is probably going to change every time you ask me. So something along those lines.
Yeah, as the years progress, usually so do the how many years ago it may have happened. So time moves forward, not backwards.
Unless you're in a weird world where it does work.
Yeah, unless
backwards.
Unless your D&D, your DM decided that was a good idea and put you in a time capsule.
Wink, wink.
Yeah. But they discovered a parallel universe that time actually goes backwards versus forwards. So you have a parallel universe version like going Benjamin Blessman right now.
I heard about that. It still doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I should read up on it.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. That's why I just love anything to do with sciences. It's just awesome.
Yeah.
Good question.
Wow. Right, what's your favorite character to play?
Guys, it's not even. I am a bard. I am a bard through and through. I can pretend not to be a bard. I'm a bard. When I LARPed, I was like, I want to be a sword and board because I just want to. But what do people remember me from LARPing? The time when I spent skill points to teach my character to read, and then my character got knighted and then proceeded to read to everyone my night scroll to prove that I could read. So even my fighters are bards.
Inferiority complex. That's what your character sounds like. Sounds like you have a very, very hectic inferiority complex. I must prove to everyone that I can do this task.
Yep. And
afterwards, I'll find something else.
And unfortunately for the rest of the players, we went on an adventure that required a lot of reading. And my fighter was like, don't worry, I got this. And then I was like, the cat sat, and they sat through it for their kindness.
Now, I would have had it written like orcish or something, just to throw the person off. Like, I've written in orcish, I can... No, wait, hang on. Oh, wait, that one.
Clea says you have bardic seduction.
Ooh.
That's fair.
Ooh.
It sounds like they're a barbarian and they mistake barbarian seduction with bardic. Thank you.
Okay. Stunk, come with me.
I have suggestion.
Okay, it's me. Yeah.
Next.
Yes, I like to play fighters, just because I like to be where the action is. I like to beat things. So yeah, I generally play fighters. Also, I generally prefer not to play characters that are overly intelligent, just because I don't want to have to. Guys, in role playing, my worst is having to solve puzzles. I'm just like, you know what? I do that for a living. I problem solve for a living. Just leave me alone and let me just hit things.
Use your head as a doorknob. That's all.
Yeah, that kind of thing. Yeah, that's what I like. That's what I like to do.
I tend to like playing magic users, particularly sorcerer. I'll be sorcerer most of the time. I've been a boy mage. I've been magic users. It tends to be magic users. I don't know. I think because I love studying, being a sorcerer makes sense to me. And I like the idea if I ever had a chance, I would love to manipulate magic. So that's it for me, definitely. And I can't fight for shit. Like I wish I could, but I can't fight for shit. So let me know.
I feel like that's a lie, but okay.
I mean, if I had to, like, if you could like say something about my mom, or you like try to attack my dog, trust me, I'll stab you with a spoon, but I don't want to. But I say that. Yeah.
So I think largely due to my many, many years of martial arts, I gravitate towards rogue characters and paladins. That's me. I love to be up close and personal with knives or swords. And I mean, I kind of dig the holy element, so paladins are like a natural choice for me.
Okay.
And I can be righteous.
Yeah, righteous justice. Very delicious. Actually, popped a question in the chat, obviously.
Professional streamers.
Question: where does one start playing D&D?
So I'm guessing, like,
It's a
how do
very
you
broad
start
question.
playing?
So I'm assuming it's along the lines of
How do you start playing?
But-
He has no knowledge on D&D.
Yeah.
So generally, that's kind of something we really like doing. And we host a lot of role playing days where beginners can come try it out. But because lockdown is real, and also I don't know where you are from, maybe not South Africa. What I would suggest is for me, it's easier to learn than, like Lena said, getting a giant rule book and trying to like muddle your way through that. Is watch one role-playing session. It can be from anyone, although Dum Dum Die does it, so maybe. Hey. And then I would, get a little adventure if you'd like. DM us on Dum Dum Die on all the socials, and we'll send you one of our adventures. And then you can try that out with a couple of friends for free. And it gives you all the rules you'd need for that adventure. Because the biggest thing is you don't want to outlay a lot of money into something you're not sure you're going to enjoy, or you can get a lot of people to play with you.
Yeah.
And also a lot of the adventures require you to have the other books or to understand some of the rule sets quite deeply, whereas our adventure is called Zoo of the Troll Lord, and basically you babysit baby monsters as goblins. And it really is a starter set into it. That's what I would recommend. I don't know about the rest of the team.
Well, he is from South Africa.
And then come to one of our role-playing days.
Post lockdown.
Yeah.
Quite personally, honestly, I would suggest find an existing group. If you've got a couple of friends that play, ask if you can join them. Tell the DM that you're a basic new player, and they'll coach you into it gently. Your friends will help you get used to some of the rule sets and mechanics and all of that, and you'll have a pretty good time. I mean, that's how I got into D&D, and I think most people do.
There's a group on Facebook called Dungeons and Dragons SA, And there's rpg.co.za, so you can look for group there. So, hey, I'm from insert your area where you live, but don't tell me because I by accident share that on the internet.
Yeah. You
So don't tell us here.
on purpose.
And then I'd say also, well, you can contact us on any of our, at any one of our social points because we run events, occasionally we write modules, and myself, I like to, when I play test a module, I like to have at least 2 people that have never role played before. So it won't necessarily be D&D because I don't understand the rules for Dungeons and Dragons, so I prefer running other systems. But then, I will always be looking for somebody to play test, that kind of thing before an event. So, yeah.
I think one last thing is, like the others have said, like you need to find a group. But for example, if you're on your own and you have no idea where to start and don't have a group of people to find, like contact us, of course, but also go to any of your local geek area. It could be a comic book shop, a board game shop, anything like that. And of course, conventions post-pandemic, of course, because you'll be surprised. And I've met people, I think at the last Comic-Con Africa, where there are these 2 guys who hadn't played in like 20 plus years. And they're from other sides of the country, and they're like, oh, wow, I haven't played. And the other guy's like, I haven't played. I'm like, okay, maybe you can play together on Roll20 or something, or Discord. Be surprised where you can find people to play with.
Yeah, I was going to add, being in lockdown now, I actually play most of my games kind of online. I've always actually even dungeon mastered using a virtual tabletop as a DM screen. So you can actually go to like Discord, like Discords of like Roll20 or Fantasy Grounds or Tabletop Simulator, and you can check on their forums. And it is possible to play a game of D&D without even leaving your house if you don't really want to do that, and you can't really do them really now. But yeah, all over the internet, there's a Facebook group, I think, that's called like RPG One Shots. So everybody's like posting every few hours about a game that's happening shortly. So if you want to get into a game quickly, Fantasy Grounds has their own Discord. There's always, if you just type in like D&D 5e LFG on the internet, you can find the game because there's somebody looking for a group and there's somebody looking for a DM in the entire world. You'll find it.
Let us know how it goes, though.
Yeah. Let us know.
Okay, so we have a question as well. If playing a character that's the opposite personality to you, is it okay to always role play, or is it best to try to roll? So the first roll is like rolling a dice. So is it okay to role play? Or is it best to try role play as much as possible? And obviously the second role is ROLE.
From my side, it's personal choice, and it depends on your GM. So if you want to, oh goodness, I did this at my talk at Comic-Con, and I was like, going to make this hand action, but it doesn't look great. Like rolling dice. So I'm going to do like little fist bumps as rolling dice. So if you want to role play, find a GM who does it that way, because if you sat at my table, you might not enjoy it as much because I prefer the acting role playing. So yeah, generally it's whatever you find more fun. And even if you, inverted commas, acting role play badly, no one's going to judge you for it. It's about having fun. I mean, I'm doing accents in our podcast, and they are shocking. They are shocking. Even the one that I thought I had is horrific. And people seem to be like it. So,
but it's still entertaining.
That's my advice. I don't know if it answers.
You just got to practice. Practice makes you connecting.
Yeah. I don't know. I completely agree with Carla. So I think Carla answered the question. Hundreds.
Yeah, there we go. No need for anyone else to jump in there. Okay, you guys obviously do a lot of podcasting now and all of that, but you've obviously done the real tabletop D&D as well. How are the changes? I mean, how difficult is the change between a podcast and actually being, there live? How difficult is it to actually transition between the two?
The technical difficulties. So because a lot of the time, so my main job aside from playing in Dum Dum Die is to actually take the stream and turn it into the podcast. So before, when we were just a podcast and we were doing it, we all sat down. The quality of the sound obviously was a lot better. It was the editing time was longer, but it was a finer process, which means at the end you end up with a better product. And now having to go remote, we have to deal with internet lag. We have to deal with no one's internet is the same, ever. So one day somebody's struggling, the next day it's somebody else entirely. And then it's also volume problems. So we can't modulate each voice separately. So it's sort of trying to get the volume correct for the entire sound, bite or whatever you want to call it, is very difficult. And then also it's difficult to role play because when you guys are also live streaming, you need to try to not speak above each other. And it's a lot harder when you can't rely on the person being in front of you, because at least you can anticipate when they're going to speak. It's very difficult to do it remotely because we don't know who's going to talk when. And that also messes obviously with your end product for the podcast.
Any other input from anyone else, or is that pretty much the gist?
No, that's perfect. I train live stream, so I didn't do the podcasting beforehand, other than when I subbed in. So
what I know is how does your play style change in any way between playing at home by yourself with your friends, nobody watching besides whoever is there, versus it being for an audience now?
For me personally, when I play with my friends, you're in a familiar environment, so you feel a lot more relaxed and you could do some goofy, silly things and your friends will probably appreciate your goofiness. Whereas if you go to a podcast, it kind of feels a bit more pressure, if I could put it like this, because you know that the live audience is listening and you know that your recording is going to be put online. So you don't have, I wouldn't say you don't have that freedom, but there is some restraint that you need to practice when you do an online recording. For me, I like to be with my friends. I can see their faces. I can read the mood of the room. That's something that I can't do online. I've got to look at a video screen and I'm trying to interpret what I'm seeing via the camera, which is sometimes with a delay, you misread intent. And then you go I didn't mean that. It's okay, never mind. It's fine. We'll just continue. It's cool. But as I think with most things, you kind of you have to stick with it, and sooner or later it becomes just as natural as playing in a room with your friends.
It's like not catching a stream at diamond mining. I bet you guys know what I'm talking about, though.
Not a clue.
Diamond mining.
Hey. Oh dear.
Lovely.
Yeah, I remember watching a stream once, and he had his finger right up there. He was trying to get the biggest booger he could possibly find.
Did he forget he had no? Why?
No, he forgot the camera was on.
Oh wow. Sure.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Yeah, everyone's made mistakes like that. I know that I cracked a rather rude joke, but it doesn't really matter.
No, we have one from last night.
What happened?
Recently?
Last night? Yes.
We ended our stream in a hurry, a hurry, but
it was late. That's why.
it was late, so we needed to get to bed because we had an early morning. And I'm like, okay, I pushed the button, it's done. And we're lying in bed and we're going, but wait, I haven't received a report to say that this is how the stream's done. And on my phone, it said that we're still streaming. And I'm like, this is weird. And I got up and I came downstairs and OBS was still running. So there's like half an hour of just a blank screen at the end of the video.
Oh, dear.
That's amazing.
That's ultimate fuck up right there. Don't hurry when you're shutting down your streams, guys. Seriously.
Make sure it's done.
You make that mistake.
But you're at least wearing pants. Like, that's the worst part when you like. I was actually remember, like, I must wear pants.
Yeah, I was fully clothed, at least.
Yeah, no, because you said that if they're already UK guys, just so you know,
your
South
pants
Africans say pants, it means trousers.
Yeah, it's for, yeah.
Just so you know.
Pants mean underwear, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, pants mean underwear, yeah. It's quite funny, but we've got a new IP address, so obviously we have now a lot of people from the UK and Europe watching us.
Yeah.
You say pants and they're like, oh, they were in their undies? Anyway, continuing. COVID-19. I'm going to say it as I can because I really don't care. How has it affected you guys and the general D&D public? I think it's how it is.
Yeah.
Yes. And the general aspect of D&D. I'm pretty sure not much, but I mean, we're all pretty much insiders anyway. But how has it affected you guys?
Carla, you want to take it?
Yeah, sure. I think it's actually grown the community online. I think D&D and Wizards of the Coast and a lot of role-playing system creators have been giving a lot of stuff for free, letting you play and test and get to use their systems and get into D&D. So I think it's been really great for that. For us, we've had technical difficulties because we were never ready. And then I think on a slightly more somber note, I think it's a little bit tough for our local community because a lot of our friends run stores and they were planning role-playing days. And, you know, we were also planning something really cool and big for this year, which I don't think will happen, but we want to do D&D in a castle where people can, you know, book and come with us to play D&D in a castle. So I think that has lowered. So just a quick plug, please go support your friendly local gaming store, even if you are doing everything online. But I think generally D&D has grown. It was already exploding, but I think this time at home has given people an opportunity to try and do something. And I think that's, with coronavirus, the biggest problem is people are so used to, you know, going out to a restaurant and then you're eating with your friends, or you're drinking with your friends, or you're playing putt-putt with your friends. So D&D and board games are something cool that you can still do with your friends even though you're not seeing them.
Awesome.
That's my thoughts.
Anyone else have some insight in that? I don't know. Just maybe from a personal front, like I'm struggling a little bit with the role playing because I prefer to be in front of people. That's also why I role play rather than computer game, for instance, because I like the social contact. So that's a little bit rough. And I've also, like, for example, been struggling to get my campaign group together because we're all, well, not all of us, but half of us are working from home, and it makes it hard because we really don't want to look at a computer after being on a computer for 12 hours every single day. Like, there's no desire there. So yeah.
For me personally, I haven't worked as hard, and I work hard in general, but I've been busting my ass even more so during this lockdown period. So as a result, for me, role playing has become a more important outlet for me because I'm exhausted from work that I need to play online to actually get some sort of some way to decompress. So from Dum Dum Die or from my other campaigns, it's been helpful. also forced me to be very creative as well with gaming. So now I've had 2 friends having birthday parties online because they obviously were all separated. So I've actually GM'd for each of their birthdays so we can at least have a way to celebrate the person's birthday and still do something fun and interactive and not complain about being stuck at home. So yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Well, since my friends are AFK right now due to unspecified reasons.
Oh.
I'm just joking. It's just lockdown. D&D has kind of become my hangout of choice, I guess. My games have increased from 1 every 2 weeks to 5 a week.
Jeez.
So I'm getting lots of practice role-playing right now. Yeah, I mean, I'm having fun because I'm getting time to hang out with my friends in a fun casual setting. And even though I don't get to see them, at least we can still hang out and chill and relax and chat and have fun. So for me, I'm good.
Tell us a bit about the current adventure you guys are on at Dum Dum Die. What's happening in the campaign right now? What's interesting going on there?
Go Carla.
Let's start with Carla.
I feel like that's the easy way out. I was like, let me test what you guys think the campaign's about.
Okay, let's do that. Let's start with Wednesday and then end
if
with
it's
you.
cooler than my idea, then I'll say that's what it's about.
Carla will answer last this time. You guys go first, and then Carla will go.
Oh dear.
This is a social experiment.
Okay, current campaign. So for Lauren, whom I actually realized I don't even pronounce his name properly. It's Lauren. It is actually supposed to be Lauren, but I'm lazy, so I call him Lauren. So campaign-wise... Lauren, yeah. So campaign-wise, for him, in terms of the adventure, he is, excuse my language, effing fed up. He is just super frustrated. He can't understand why he put his lot in with, put his lot in with a bunch of crazy women. He, like, even though he is getting paid to do it and he really needs the money, he's kind of like, things have gone too far. These women that he's been spending time with, they're all liars, first of all. And he's like lawful good paladin, like he's like super like straight-laced. He can't deal. They're always lying. They're always trying to kill people like randomly. They're always rude. Like, before the one sister died, she was always trying to like get up in his face and like, I don't know what was going on, like flirt with him or whatever. And he just couldn't deal basically with life. So that's him. He's just kind of fed up and confused all the time, and because the character is very naive. What's interesting, and that's happened in the last episode, it doesn't exactly spoil, but basically Lena's character did something unexpected, and now I am going to properly write the rest of my backstory. Yeah.
From my point of view, what I know about this campaign is it's a spin-off from previous seasons, so it's a different continent altogether. And I have barely any foreknowledge, so it's interesting in that sense. But my character is a sorcerer who wants to try to like prove herself in a weird way, but also had this whole backstory that was based on the concept of me being stuck in my guild because I felt like I had to stay there and wait for my sister. Turns out my sister was there the whole time, didn't have the sense to tell me that she was my sister. So spoilers, and now my character is pretty lost and confused about her direction in life right now. So not so great, but like we have fun. So
I'm playing a character that I didn't really write the backstory to or designed. Carla kind of spent an entire episode going, oh, this would be pretty cool. We're going to do this. And Andromach is going to be like this. And this is the cool backstory that we're going to run with it. And I was just like, oh, okay. I guess I can run with that. It's interesting. I'm just, okay. That's fine. So basically, Andromach is a changeling set in a world where the changelings were once leaders and revered, and they built these amazing structures and sky platforms, and then the other races came and they stole everything. Carla didn't say it like that, but that's what I'm saying.
They stole
everything.
the entire buildings, like overnight.
So
it was just gone.
the changelings.
Sorry.
The changelings had to go into hiding in order to survive. And as a result, I mean, their entire society changed from being a dominant presence on the planet to being basically the minority. So changelings have faded from public view to basically myths and legends. So that was until one changeling got killed and discovered publicly. So the rest of the changelings decided, nope, we don't want any part of this, we're gone. So they just basically took on new personas, went to new towns, split families. Everything's a huge mess right now. Andromach has no idea what's going on. Her family just left her, and she ran into Allure in them. And now she's just kind of tagging along for the ride. It's like, what are we doing? Sure. Okay. That's cool.
I feel like my campaign, as summed up by the players, is confusing. I don't know if that's good or bad. Essentially, the overarching story currently is it's a magic mech world where magic through the use of oil from whales runs basically like industrial machinery, so like carriages, machinery inside buildings, zeppelins, things like that. And from the previous season, there was a crazy woman who tried to kill everyone and destroy everyone's memories. And she was a very formidable member of the guild that runs all the magic mechanics in the world. And due to that, no one trusts them anymore. And so our characters went on a quest to earn some gold to try and help that guild survive. And the quest is they're searching for someone who's been killing people all across the continent. And they've realized that it's someone who's trying to reanimate these people as golem automatons. And this person may or may not be Kira, a.k.a. Nellie's mother. But who can say?
Oh, is that what we're doing? Okay. Thanks, guys.
I mean, that's what I thought you were doing. Apparently not.
I'm following a pufferfish map. Okay, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, and then we do whatever chat kind of tells us that I think is cool. So generally, it's mostly comedy, even though we are hunting a serial killer because reasons. But I like to think we have a lot of empathy and soft touch moments as well. Yeah.
Okay, so I remember Wednesday saying earlier that she doesn't really understand D&D and rather play other stuff. So what other role-playing systems do you guys play? And if you could, propose a change to the current 5th edition rules, what would you change to bring in from other systems, or just that you would want to change? Let's start with Carla.
So I really like a system called Dread. It's basically used Jenga tower instead of dice. I think that's really cool because it's mostly a acting role-playing system. I've also played Numenera. I enjoy that. Played Pathfinder. I love trying lots of different systems. I even have My Little Pony, which I'm going to make happen in my life. So yeah, I've tried lots of different systems, and we also try and do that on our role-playing days, is bring lots of different things for people to try. What I would change about D&D, I feel like you need to know the rules better than I know the rules. I think, to be honest, I would change from a GM's perspective. I would change challenge ratings, because I think people. So you take the levels of the characters and then you pick a monster that matches the challenge rating for them generically in adventures. And I don't think that's the way to do it. I mean, sometimes adventurers are going to come across something that is way too hard for them to deal with. And sometimes they're going to come across like two little rats that they bop over their head once and then they're done. So, and also I change the challenge rating as the adventure goes on. Because I'm like, if I want this big bad to survive, I'm not going to do that thing of, you killed it and then it resurrects. I'm going to be like, okay, well, I'm just going to double its HP and double everything, because I actually want it to be a giant monster rather than what the book says. So, yeah, I would get rid of challenge ratings for myself.
Do you use, or have you used Kobold Fight Club?
No, but I will now.
Kobold Fight Club is a online thing where you can type in the number of players you have and the number of characters you have and the level of characters that they are, and you just then click whether you want an easy, a hard, or a medium difficulty encounter, and it'll output you an encounter that's fitting for that level. And there's a couple of other ones that do it. I don't have the
I have a
right
question
browser
here.
on.
Why would you tell this information to our GM? Do you want us to die?
Carla's busy. She needs things to save her time. I'm DMC for DMs. Okay.
I appreciate you.
Okay.
Yeah, I use Kobold Fight Club because I can't be bothered to also check CR and try and calculate the little formula they got in that book. That's ridiculous. It doesn't mean anything. Like, I'd rather have people online tell me what's the better way to sort it out. Yeah. What about you, Wednesday? What kind of systems you like to play, and how would you change D&D?
Systems-wise, one of my favorites is Unknown Armies, and it's just because I think it's amazing that you get to name your own skill, because it makes it more specific. So you don't get a skill like general athletics. You get, I like to run or something like that. And it specifies that, yes, you're athletic, but it is very specific to running. Yeah. So it makes your character a lot more well-defined, especially for the role-playing aspect. So that's one of my favorites. Otherwise, I just enjoy World of Darkness because I like the world that it's set in. I like to play like modern role-playing games more. In terms of changing things in 5e, so listen, I played 3.5, so I'm pretty happy with 5e. Like, creating a character in 3.5 took me a very long time. I'm pretty happy with 5e, and now, like, whenever we have to level up and stuff, so it's quite easy to use the PHP, but you know, D&D Beyond is right there. You just click and it does everything for you. I'm like, yay.
It does. There's so many online tools. Yeah. It is so much easier to play D&D these days. It's actually ridiculous. Yeah.
So also because I don't DM, D&D, like, it doesn't faze me. The rules don't really faze me. Like, because they've made it easier for the players. Like, I think that 5e is great.
So plays World of Darkness, Dread, which I love. I love Dread. I love that sense of anxiety you get stirring up by pulling the wrong block out of the tower.
Dread is surreal. Yeah.
Dread is just like also cutthroat, because then like you can just try like poker face people, like, try to mess with them and try and like do a good roll, so to speak. And then armies, I don't know, 5e I like because it's the only D&D system I've played, and I find it simple enough to grasp. So I don't change too much from it. And then, like you guys said, there are online tools, so it's easy enough for me to grasp. So I'm lost. not too pressed about making changes.
So I've also played Dread. Thank you, Carla. She hosted that one actually. I've done Pathfinder, and I've also done Mutants and Masterminds, which is like a very fun kind of a X-Men superhero spin-off of Pathfinder 4E. It's pretty fun. It's pretty fun. As to something that I would change, like, excuse me for being the freaking person that actually knows a quirky rule here. Okay. But
Someone's got to.
yeah,
Someone's
there's
gotta do
this
it.
silly little thing that says you can cast 2 spells in a turn if you cast a action using a cantrip and a bonus action to cast a level 1 spell. Then you could cast 2 spells. And I feel like, I mean, considering the way that the spellcasters work, it might be a little bit more beneficial once you get to a higher level spells to have something along the lines of, if you cast a level 5 spell, you can cast a level 1 spell as a bonus action. Or if you cast a level 8 or 9 spell, you can cast a level 2 or 3 spell as a bonus action. Instead of having the very minor spell as the action and the bonus action being the level 1 spell.
Yeah.
So just something that
I agree with you. Like, it would have been much easier to be like, okay, you can cast a certain level of spell on your turn, so you can break that up. Like, if you're allowed to cast a 5-level spell, maybe you can do a 2 and a 3 instead of it's a weird rule. I agree with you. It's like, why?
Make sure people don't get aren't overpowered or something.
I don't think so.
The thing about it is the bonus action spells are never really damage impactful. They're normally utility impactful. So I feel that having that as a bonus action, even a higher level spell, allows you just to have some more opportunities for fun things to happen during your combat and role play. So just my 2 cents.
Sorry if you can hear my dogs.
The thing is, like, D&D... Okay. Hey? No, I was just going to say, D&D is, like, pretty unbalanced anyway. Like, all these characters, they have varying amounts of power that makes very little sense. So the whole balance thing of, like, okay, spellcasters, you get to do this, is, like, kind of silly. Because when you have things like a fighter who just swings around a sword, and then you have your, like, wizard over there that can bend space and time, you can't tell me that, like, okay, you want to make these weird rules. It's, D&D is D&D.
It's like that joke about how each of the mage classes know their magic, and the wizard's like, I studied, and the sorcerer's just like, I'm innately magical, and the warlock's, I made a pact with the demon, and the bard is just like, lol.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, Kuya has another question, and it is, with building your own campaign, is it okay to introduce it to players even though it's not complete and further build it along the way, or would it be best to complete it first?
I would say do what makes you feel comfortable. I feel like those are always my answers. Just do what you feel is right. But I make it as we go along. So I have like sort of an overarching idea for the plot. And then I have some base concepts of the world. So some things that will always be true. And then you build them from that. And I think it makes the world more alive for players because the things they put into the world comes to life through it. And also, I feel personally, you don't know what you're going to need in the campaign. And if all of a sudden your players are like, you took them to a beach and they're all like very fascinated with a boat. If you had such a stiff world that was not malleable at all and you were like, this world is an island, guys. And your players are like, but we want to go in the boat. Because I promise you, your players will want to go in a boat. If you have not planned a boat, they want a boat. And so I think
my
it's great
cat
to have
has
a.
decided to join the stream.
Oh, Kitty!
And he's not to.
Yeah,
He's gone now.
So I think it's great to start and put them in the world. But if you would feel more confident having more of the world laid out, then lay it out like that. So some couple key points that are always true, and generically what the world is like. So is it a magic mech world? Is it set in like the 1600s? Is it set in modern day? Is time travel allowed? And then other than that, as you play and as the story progresses, build what you need, aka changelings. Which came about now.
All admiring the cat there instead of actually focusing here. All right.
He's a very
If you
distracting
can choose
cat.
not the class, skills of any class, and
In
use
real
it in
life.
reality, which would it be? This is an interesting one. I like this question.
I would say Bard is very useful, but I'm actually going to go with a monk. Because Key is amazing. And it's also used for spells and punching and moving fast. And I feel like I'm missing that in my life. Maybe it's just because I haven't exercised in lockdown.
And you can run up walls and stuff and fall very slowly. Like, Monk is amazing.
You can be like an airbender. Basically, I want to be an airbender.
Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. What about the rest of you guys?
Carla, I think in real life that's called Shaolin, but I don't know.
I feel like in real life that's also called years of study and practice, which Carla's never gonna do.
Yeah.
So I need D&D to give it to me.
Yeah. I think that's a goodie. So for me, I think it's a toss-up between like your paladin style skills and abilities. So like things like bless and shield and protect and stuff like that. But that's just because I'm someone's mom. So I would love to be able to cast that and be like, okay, my kid is sorted for the day. Like every day. And then also just from a personal side, because of fascination, the warlocks, like your deal with the patron, like that whole thing, warlock skills and stuff. I think that'd be really cool because your patron doesn't necessarily have to be a giant demon. They can be anything. I think that's cool.
I think for me it would be like most likely a sorcerer, or if I'm in a really dark space, some form of necromancer as well. I don't know, like, because think of it this way, I'm thinking more of a business point of view.
What are you doing, Datsu? You put his tail right on their camera.
There we go, technical difficulties. Well,
Classic Natsu.
technical difficulties.
Yeah. As a necromancer, from a business point of view, imagine how many people would want to like employ me for my services because they would be like, oh, I miss my great aunt Ethel. And I'm like, yeah, I can make it happen, but it's going to cost you. I don't know. If I was in a very dark space and I want to make money, I guess be some form of necromancy. But like where I am now, I'm in a good headspace. I'll stick to sorcery because like I'll feel like I'm naturally talented and I can naturally do certain things. So it's not too far from being a scientist anyway. So sort of.
What do you like, chaotic good or chaotic evil or chaotic neutral?
Dude, if I'm a necromancer, I think like chaotic neutral because it's money. There's more.
That's me as well. I like to be the vigilante sort of, but the not the vigilante, the anti-hero.
Mm-hmm.
I like to do good, but I like to hurt people while doing good. I like to make suffer while I'm doing good. That's my kind of stuff.
I am probably I'm gonna have to go with cleric. I kind of like what clerics do. They're always like the healers of the parties, sometimes anyway. And I love the
Sick
skill
walking.
set and magic set that comes with clerics, so I'm probably going to have to go cleric. Paladin being a close second.
Okay, so there are real jobs for each one of those. Very funny.
Yeah.
The necromancer, you're more of a mortician.
Undertaker. Yeah.
Wednesday,
I
what
was
was you
very
again?
mortician, actually. I'll have you know.
It was paladin / warlock.
Okay,
You're a
that is
warlock.
difficult. Yeah.
Warlocks.
Anybody with a dead end job is a warlock.
But now no one can say what they think that job is because automatically you've made it that we think it's a dead end job.
Yeah.
It's frozen.
Carla has.
No, she's not frozen. I can see that movement.
So, Carla, yours is a monk. That's pretty much any martial artist.
That's a monk. Yeah.
Lena.
And Lena, yours was a cleric, right?
Yeah.
A medic or an ambulance driver.
Udokutela.
Or doctor.
Real world jobs for each one of those classes. Just like, come on.
And in chat, Chicken Wingers says that his girlfriend is like, yes, monk. Yes, they are badass. She's a homebrew Genesis elf that's a monk using the way of the shadow. And then Kuya says he'd rather be a druid. Chicken Wingers says he'd be a fighter. And then Quinix Faye, who is Chicken Winger's girlfriend, said that their DM made her a lightning mist Genesis elf homebrew.
Janasa.
Guys,
Chicken Wingers says he wishes he was a bard fighter because he would wear a crop and hot pants with a loot of badassery.
Oh, yeah.
yes,
Nice.
Yes, that's hot. I'm
Yes.
all on board with that. Yeah, that's, yeah.
buns of steel.
Oh, yeah.
Just,
Chicken wingers, I think you just won D&D.
for a second.
No.
Now, everyone try and burn that image out of your head because you're not going to be able to. It's not burning
Okay.
Next question.
What is the biggest mistake you've seen a DM or players make?
From my side, but okay, one is a mistake and one is personal preference. So the ones we were playing at a convention, and okay, in the GM's defense, they get given a module right like an hour before, and then it was a Cthulhu module, and we were trying to survive this building. And then we're like, we phone the police. And he's like, okay, the police come, they take you home, the end. We've been playing for like 15 minutes. And we're like, why did you let the police come? And why didn't you say the phone wire was cut or anything? And he's like, no, it didn't say that in the module. I'm like, just make it up. So we had to convince him to retcon it and rerun it. And then we're like, we try and phone the police. And he's like, you can't. And no one was like, why not? We were just like, okay, cool, we can't. Let's move on. Yeah. And then my second one, but this is, as I said, personal preference, is I'll generally allow anything as long as it's cool or someone makes enough reasoning for it. And I feel sometimes GMs that role play don't give you enough space to be creative or have fun or use skills in other ways. So that's my vibe.
Okay, so for me, I think I don't even know if you can call it a mistake. Like, it's just difficult to GM, I think. But I was at a con the 1 year, and the GM basically ignored the rest of the table except for one person. And it was kind of in a way you couldn't blame the GM because that person had a very like a hectically strong personality. And they kept badgering the GM like every 5 seconds. They were like, and then I do this, and then I want to do this, and you need to explain this to me, and like, you know, that kind of thing. So I don't really think it was the GM's fault so much, except that maybe he should have asked that player to hang back a little bit and let everybody else talk, or possibly even just told them that maybe they're not up for the scope of this game, because some games are not for beginners, that kind of thing. And then also, like Carla had like a personal preference thing. While I was living in the UK, I went to go and watch a game because I wanted to find out whether or not I could play with this group in the UK. And the GM was amazing. The players, on the other hand, were a group of guys that were role-playing like it was a computer game. So they were just like, okay, what loot can I pick up now? What do I find? And it was really bad because the GM had put together such a cool story, and just from attending one session, I could tell that it was going to be a fantastic story. So it was a Cthulhu, like a Delta Green style story, and they just weren't taking any of the cues. They were only interested in how much ammunition they could pick up. Was there an extra gun lying on the floor? Like, that kind of thing. And I was just like, actually, I can't join this group. Like, that's not for me.
Yeah.
I think one of the bigger mistakes I've seen from players anyway would be one, not listening to the GM, especially the GM's giving you very big cues, and like you just keep on like flagrantly ignoring it, or you're not paying attention at all. The other is just being too out of character. Like I have said this before, but if you are going to play a lawful good paladin, but then you're actually like an anarchist in real life and you can't stick to the script, why would you even pick that character? So I don't know, that frustrates me. As for GM mistakes I've witnessed, I don't know, I've been around pretty good GMs. I've been fortunate enough to know good GMs. Although I think GMs who allow people to have too much freedom, I think that can be a bit problematic. That can be a bit frustrating for other players. So yeah.
So I've actually got two pet peeves when it comes to GMs. The first being the GM that goes, okay, you arrive in a field. What do you do? There's no cues. There's no like storyline. You have no idea. Okay, we look around. You see a bush.
Bush is flaming.
You go like, yeah. I mean, as a GM, you need to give your players direction. And if you're not doing that, then stop, please. Reassess your situation. On the flip side, I've also played with a GM that, as a player, you concoct this amazing and intricate and funny type of scenario in your head. You go like, okay, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that, and then afterwards, I'm going to kick this guy in the nuts. And it's going to be fantastic. Yeah. And when the GM goes like, stares at you blankly and goes like, no, you didn't do that. What you did is this. And you go like, come on, it's going to be so much fun. Just like, let me do it. Let me roll for it at least. And he goes like, no, you can't do it. You just can't. Now, whether or not that's to protect NPC in their campaign or whatever the case may be, fine. But I mean, allow your players enough creativity to do interesting things so that it's fun for them as well. As for players, if you're gonna be playing D&D, guys, don't make the silent recluse character. I can't stress this enough. If you're playing a mysterious rogue that's going to be sitting in corners of taverns the whole campaign, trust me, you're not going to enjoy it. It is a lot more fun to play the charismatic bard or the leadership paladin or the confrontational warlock or whatever the case may be. It is just that much more enjoyable to play characters like that. So sometimes step out of your comfort zone and play something different. You might definitely enjoy it.
Silent recluses are boring. They're just like the entire party were like, so we do this, what do you think?
Oh, we lost Lena.
Yeah.
I'm going to try that's just my video, guys. I'm going to try my camera. I think it disconnected. Sorry.
Rolled a net one on her performance.
But at least it says like Druid Cam.
Yeah, it does say
Droid.
Droid cam.
Droid cam. Failing forward with droid cam.
Okay, so Druid cam. My bad.
Okay, so Haley has a question asking, do you have tips for first-time DMers? She's been trying to get into DM and looking for tips and ideas on how to get started.
The Druid has returned.
I think maybe Nelly, do you want to answer? Because you've just recently first-time GM'd.
Oh yeah. Do your research, guys. Do lots and lots of research. I don't know, although I'm a control freak, I need to make sure my world makes sense. And if anyone asks me any random question, I can answer for them of some sort. But I would say do your research, commit a system that you can actually understand and explain to other people. Also, I would say learn to let go a little bit. Just learn that there's no such thing as having a planned campaign, because people will never follow your plan. You could make the most. I've made amazing ideas in my mind, but then we spent 2 hours where players were just fixated on a cat. And it was a cat. It was a nice little fixture to mention. Oh, I saw a cat. Like, oh, it must be giving us a question or something. Let's go find this cat. So, yeah, learn to be controlled and research and have fun. And yeah, Google. There's tons of online tips. And even our DM gives tips. So what's up?
Yeah. I would also just add to that, maybe start with one short adventure just to get the feel for it. And then if you're having fun, you're doing it right.
Exactly. Right, question from Kuya. Kuya says, what are your craziest or funniest things? I don't understand how that's...
What are your craziest or funniest things you've done in D&D or funniest experiences you've had as a party?
Okay, sorry. My English brain went... because that didn't automatically make any sense to me. And then, of course, the dyslexia kicked in and said, maybe I read it wrong. So I went back and read it again. Sorry, but there you go. The question was that.
And before you answer, on the characters, JJ in chat said that he's the snarky, quiet character, although he doesn't think he's very quiet.
So I love it. Anyway, so back to that question.
Yes.
Angel, read it again. I think they forgot.
What are your craziest or funniest things you've done in D&D or funniest experiences you've had as a party?
Carla, are you going to start?
Yeah.
No, guys, you must. I believe it.
That's the order.
It's now your turn.
Okay. Jeez. I don't really think I have a particular moment. It's more sort of like a campaign setting. So the first half of Dum Dum Die, which was set on a different continent in Kalandas, so the original continent. So that, I think, for me, had some of the best, most hilarious moments, just generally because of the character I decided to play. And that was Xantalarian, the sexy rogue. So, for me, role-playing just generally, and the situations that we would get into all the time, involved some sort of random, really hilarious thing happening most of the time, because Xantalarian would flirt with anything on 2 legs. He was being followed around by a super gay wizard as well, a very fabulous one, who had the hots for him the whole time. So there were just so many hilarious things that just kept happening throughout that campaign. And also because the dice roll dictates how things happen. So there were a lot of crit fails that shouldn't have happened when they happened. And that makes for some comedy gold.
I think for me, one of the craziest things, and I don't know if it's a good thing, was that we completely destroyed the TM world in the worst way possible. I was so sorry Wednesday.
Yeah.
It was so bad. I was a good person. Okay, I was a good mage. And I just say the most weird world rides is to like bypass these one burden to everything but what we're meant to do. And then I accidentally joined Stockholm Syndrome, I suppose. I mean,
Forever in my hole.
the worst things in the entire campaign. And then basically the Witcher, and the Witcher came on Netflix. And I was like, I can't imagine how much we screwed up the world, because what happened to the show and the chat was what we did fast. So once again, I'll probably say it at least once a year, but I'm so sorry Wednesday.
Okay, so my funniest D&D game came with a bunch of friends of mine that we played last year. We were playing Tomb of Annihilation, and we had this one session where our rogue was absent, and the DM took us into this tomb, and unfortunately there was a ton of traps in this bloody tomb. So none of us could navigate the bloody traps, and we just got summarily slaughtered. It was so bad. I mean, we went like 2 or 3 rooms in, and we're like, no, we can't do this. We're taking way too much damage. We don't have enough healing. We're getting out. And struggle our way back out to the front door. Just got outside, and there's a bunch of goblins waiting. And the DM went, the goblins are asking of, well, in a very cute goblin voice, like, where's the jewels? We saw you go into temple. We know you took jewels. Give us jewels. And we're like, no, we didn't get far enough in. We don't have any jewels. And the GM was like, no. We saw you. We want jewels. We take jewels. And my party of the people I'm playing with, they were really beginners. So I was like thinking on the fly. And I just said, well, we would give you the jewels, of course, but Jeff actually took it. Just made up a freaking name on the spot, and the GM went like, Jeff? Who's Jeff? And I was like, no, it's Jeff. It's a goblin. We met the goblin inside, and I like look over and go like, oh, there he is. That's Jeff right there. Just point to one of the goblins. And the GM's like, what? Jeff? What? Are you Jeff? And the other goblin goes, no, you Jeff. And they create this bloody mosh pit of goblins fighting each other, and we ran away.
That's awesome.
From in the men. Like, oh well, we left it back inside there. Why don't you go? And all the traps are disarmed. You can go in now. That's it. Let them get wrecked by the traps.
Yeah, we just came out to get a wheelbarrow. You guys can go and have a look yourself.
That's smart. Yeah, from my side, yeah, I got to be honest. The campaign, there's tons of times I laugh. I love it when they're like, and Nicole, our previous player, used to be very good at this, and I used to love it. She'd be like, I cast firebolt. I'm like, and I cast lightning bolt and thunder wave. And I'm like, that's an area of effect spell, right? Everyone's in this room, right? She like nearly killed them 3 times. And I was just like, you know what? You get inspiration because you just being living your best life. So there's a ton of funniest moments. I think one of my craziest moments actually came quite recently. I was playing, it wasn't really D&D. I make it sound like it was vaguely D&D. It wasn't D&D, but it was pretty cool. It was a one-shot Wednesday ran, and I was playing a mom character trying to survive this like supernatural nightclub to fetch her child from the supernatural nightclub. And my character was supposed to be like probably the first to die, right? You always need the first to die. I managed to survive, but they killed my kid, and so I became a vigilante with car keys and a lighter, and I just set fire to everything and punched things with my car keys, and I became like vigilante mom with the car key hands, It was cool.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was really cool.
It was Dread. It was Dread. It was the game, the system.
These silent gaps. Someone needs to jump in. I've asked kids to tune in.
All right. Okay. So I want to know, like, what's the most challenging things that you guys had to overcome as role players, and what are you working on, like, next to improve?
Okay.
Let's start with Carla.
Let's start with Carla. Okay.
I think my most challenging thing is I actually, believe it or not, am very people anxious. I really like
Socially
people
anxious.
to like me.
Yeah.
Socially anxious, yeah. I really like people to like me, and I like people to have had a good time. So, you know what's a great thing to do for that? Run a stream where you have to take people on an adventure. So, shame. I think I sometimes bother the team. I'm like, did you guys have fun? Was it did you guys have a good game? Do you think people enjoyed it? I think that's my biggest thing. And then as a player, I could potentially be that annoying player that Wednesday mentioned. So I sometimes err on the side of caution, and I'm like, wait for everyone else to make a plan so that I don't always like, and then this is the plan, and then this is the plan, MVP. So I'm always like, okay. And then they like, Carla, your character should know what to do here. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll make a plan now.
In case you guys heard the on the microphone, if it picked it up, it's Zip's brother talking to one of the dogs.
Yeah.
Reminds me of that one comedian. He was like, doing the play, like,
Anyway, I just wanted to point that out, but now we can continue.
All right, Wednesday, you were saying before I rudely interrupted you.
Okay, so I'm actually very shy. People that know me and people that have met me don't believe me, especially because of the way that I look, like the way that I dress, that kind of thing. So people are like, there's no way in hell you're shy. But I am. So role-playing, even from the beginning, has been very difficult for me because I'm not very good with people I don't know. And even when it comes to people I do know, sometimes I just don't feel like talking to them. So role-playing is difficult in that sense. And also what's challenging for me as a GM is that I am the kind of person who keeps everything in my head rather than writing it down. So sometimes my games kind of stagger a little bit because maybe I haven't planned that far, because you never know what your players are going to do. So, for example, when Neli's group just wrecked my Witcher campaign.
How could you do?
Yeah. So I was actually quite happy when the series came out, because I was like, guys, can you watch this, please? Like, and then can you apologize to me like you should, because you guys did horrible things to people that didn't deserve it. Yeah, so it's just like, it is difficult, I think, personality-wise. I mean, generally, people just misinterpret the way that I behave and the way that I look, and then everybody's just like, oh no, she's cool, she's fun, or whatever. And then when I get thrown into a group where I have to play with strangers, it's really difficult, and then I just hang back. Like the whole game I'll kind of just hang back, which is kind of pointless.
Okay.
I think for me, one of the more challenging things to overcome as a player is, especially with like a big group, or actually anything can be a big group, like anything that 3+ people can be a big campaign group, is being able to like be patient with everyone, because some people get really excited to jump in and they kind of like first off your gameplay and just learn to like adapt to everyone's playing style, because you can't let someone else's playing style affect you so to the point where it frustrates you, that defeats the purpose, because you're supposed to have fun. But I can't have fun because someone keeps talking with everyone else, or someone keeps being really involved with everything. It gets frustrating. And as a GM, in my 2 one-shots I've done so far, the biggest frustration, the biggest thing to get over is trying not to kill everyone out of the like just being so over it, not going according to plan. So yeah, that's
Wow. It looks like we're actually a bunch of introverts here, apparently, except maybe for Carla. She's definitely not an introvert. She's definitely a sanguine. I mean, a couple of years ago, I was definitely the rogue in the corner saying nothing. That was me. So I speak from experience. I know. And I've kind of had to put myself into positions that would not suit my personality to learn and grow as a player. I mean, I've had to play the charismatic person. I've had to be the bard and sing in public. And I've had to play the confrontational warlock just to push the boundaries of my personality. It's both like a personal growth thing that happens as well as having some fun in the same vein, you know. I would recommend it if you are an avid player. I mean, don't always play the character that suits your personality. Play something that is completely different from you and see how it goes. I mean, sometimes it's not fun and sometimes it really is, and you're like, I didn't think I had that in me. That's actually pretty cool. D&D has been a journey for me, honestly, a journey of personal and character growth. So I literally went from being the invisible person in the side of the room to trying to be the front and center lead person in a couple of the groups where the DMs have asked me, since I'm a more experienced player than some of the other people, to actually lead the parties. And it's been really interesting. But, you know, luckily now in Dum Dum Die, I'm the new player, so I can hang back and I can let the more experienced people take the heavy lifting. But except Lauren doesn't want to do any heavy lifting, so, you know, it's all up to me and Nelly. And
what even?
Oh, right. Sorry.
So on the note of playing a character that's out of your personality and stuff like that, Kuya actually mentioned it. He kind of agrees that role playing in D&D is a nice way of breaking out of your introvert shell. So it is obviously then recommended just to
play something that you don't normally play.
Be someone that you're not.
Essentially, that's true. But anyway, when you guys see Dum Dum Die in 5 years, obviously 5 years after lockdown has ended.
Cool.
I think this is mainly a question
Carla
for
gonna
Carla.
go last. Carla gonna go first.
Carla's gonna go last.
Okay.
Karen has spoken.
So yeah, so I've got.
When they do this. Carla doesn't answer when Wednesday starts and it goes clockwise.
Yeah, so I've got big dreams for Dum Dum Die. Just because generally when I invest in something, it's 250% of investment. So I've got like super big dreams for Dum Dum Die. I mean, even if I may not be around like in person to continue with it, I would still like to be helping in the background. Like for me, Dum Dum Die, I expect it to be South Africa's Critical Role. You know, it's that. Just because I think like we definitely have that appeal, you know, and we are opening ourselves up to the community and we're allowing the community to engage with us as well. And I think that's very important. Also because for me as well, like I'm very interested in theater and just performance art as a basic. So I really enjoyed when we went into live theater and we actually performed. So for me, I'd like to do like more of that sort of stuff as well. So not just run event days and games days, but actually go and do some more live interactive in a theater space or in like a mall or something, you know, just to to grow the community, like to change, to make D&D not something that people do at home or now currently in lockdown overall 20, to make it something that is more in line with being an actual performance art.
Yeah, I agree with you, Wednesday. I definitely see Dum Dum Die being much larger on a grander scale, like you said, Critical Role. Like they have, and Dum Dum Die almost having like a massive following, like a big fandom to the point where we have people cosplaying our characters. We have a whole bunch of people where it's like you said, in 5 knows where each will be almost like a whole house of mantle, almost like an organization of people who form Dum Dum Die. And as long as it continues to run, people still are very much into D&D and African in particular. I like it opening the doors for other people who never played Dungeons and Dragons. To the point where like it's almost normal for someone to say like someone you would never expect right now, like a granny house in Northern Cape, some town who's like, yeah, I love Dungeons and Dragons. I want to have full on map coverage. I want to be able to educate the masses, so to speak. So that's where I see them dying by you.
Look, honestly, from my side, I am pretty much all for anything that expands the geek and of exposure to geekdom. So D&D for me is one of the more interesting and more personal fandoms that I followed. So I would really like to see Dum Dum Die succeed. I'd like to become like one of the pioneers in South African gaming, not only in D&D but for a tabletop setting. So that kind of like the role that Critical Role fulfills for YouTube. We can do that for not only the South African community but as a general tabletop group. So, I mean, I'm pretty new to the whole scene, so I don't know exactly what the DM has planned, but, you know, that is where I'd like to see us going.
Yeah, I mean, I think all of those are amazing goals and definitely something I'd love to build, right? On a very basic level, in 5 years, I'd like to see us earning a little bit of money so we can pay Wednesday to edit our podcast. Just, you know, like not, you know, I would love bucket loads, but, you know, if we can at least just, you know, pay Wednesday for all our hard work and I can buy everyone a snack, that would be great. But yeah, in 5 years, really to have really built and created the South African D&D community to something really, really large where everyone feels comfortable playing, where, you know, everyone feels that they are welcome. That's something I'd love to see Dum Dum Die create. And also really Dum Dum Die creating Dungeons and Dragons, like Wednesday said, not just as a game that you play, but also an amazing story that we tell and that people will watch and enjoy as theater, not just as not just people who would like to play D&D. And in 5 years, I'd like to see it with the people who are here. So if you cannot leave me, that would be great. I promise.
You've got attachment issues now.
I've put it into the plan that I will pay you in snacks, guys.
What kind of snacks?
500 Knickers bars. That's what you guys are missing out on if you leave.
Making cookies and I'm sold.
I actually made tiramisu today, so I mean.
Oh wow!
Oh, you guys don't stand a chance.
But Haley has a very important question here. It's an extremely important question. How many dice do you guys own?
Sure, I can show you.
Yeah.
Show
One
us.
second.
Show and tell.
We'll pull out tubs.
Yeah.
Ice cream tubs. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Wednesdays are dice goblin between Wednesday and Carla.
The dice goblin.
Okay, this is my current set. and I'm throwing them away. This is my current. It's a whole big bag, and it's almost full. I want to invest in a few metal dice sets. I just need to save money first to buy them because I want to get one of each kind of metal.
Ooh. Like each kind of metal on the periodic table.
No, I don't think they make each kind of metal on the periodic table. If they did, I'm there. I'm so there. I want helium dice. I want all the elements, not just the metals.
Not just
elements.
metal.
I want
freaking
floating dice. I want dice you can breathe.
And I would throw some mercury dice. That would be fun.
And if your dice are rolling ones, you're going to go like, threaten them to put them among the radioactive elements. Like,
You go with the uranium dice right now.
I just love how scientifically dorky you all are. I was like, elements. And then you guys are like, uranium. And I'm just like... You guys all raise the IQ up, Dum Dum Die, exponentially.
It's not bad.
And Geekoscopy, when you join in the chat, you raise Dum Dum Die exponentially.
Yes, thank you for talking about CRISPR.
He's a doctor after all.
Yeah, exactly. That doctorate goes a long way. I mean, it's better. So I really appreciate you being in the chat, Geekoscopy, because it basically means that we won't have as many fart jokes coming through in the chat and like random request things. Like I'm just like, guys, we are people.
Sometimes, like, look, I've got to stand up for chat here. Sometimes the fart jokes are from me. Like, I'm not even going to.
Instigate some fart jokes, actually.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'll try to be there more often now to try and keep an aura of professionalism somehow, even though I'm not that professional myself. Any more questions from the chat?
Yeah, one more. What do you guys think about D&D LARPing?
Oh yes. Yes, winning.
Yes, I thought I was going to see.
It's kind of Tales of Tiana anyway, right, Carla? I mean...
Okay, maybe I'm your guys now. These are the hard questions. The periodic table. What is D&D LARPing? Is it LARPing in a D&D setting? Is it you have to roll a bit?
That's a good question. It's two different things to begin with.
I think it could be. Maybe it could be cool. Maybe it could be cool if like off. Like, so you do a weekend, because like our Tales of Tiana, which we LARPed, you could only LARP maybe every 3 months. So maybe you D&D it in the interim, or maybe on the days. I just think maybe combining them might confuse the best parts of each. Maybe. But then again, maybe it could be something amazing and cool. So I am on the fence, but invite me when you make it, person in chat.
But I got a sense that like when you LARP and stuff, you do like rock, paper, scissors, right? Instead of like rolling a dice. So like, it's
who's running it and what kind of LARP system it is.
Yeah, generally we used Tales of Tiana, which is in a D&D setting. You use like little bean bags filled with seed as spell packets, and then you call what your spell is. So you'll shout like firebolt, and then you call how much damage it does. And then you use buffer weapons, and this is a system used in America and around the world. It's called Nero. But like with all games of fun and imagination, you have to use a scout system of be like, that totally hit you. No, it didn't. It didn't hit me with a firebolt. So that's why I like playing. Not that there were many people like that. definitely one or two, but not a lot. That's why I like playing a sword and board, because if you hit someone with your sword, there's like no way they're like, you didn't hit me. I'm like, buddy, I will hit
Literally.
you again.
So apparently it's where you throw a big fluffy D20 at people.
Okay, yes, I'm about that. I want it now.
Sure. Wow.
And you just like don't sit still.
What you were doing with bubbles? You know how you have your bubble boy and all that stuff, and you combine bubble boy and that big bubble D20. Oh my gosh!
I don't know whether that's a cross between D&D and LARPing or D&D and dodgeball. It's like just a dodgeball.
Ultimate dodgeball in the dark or something.
It's dodging and dragons.
Oh yes, yes, we got a winner. We got a winner there. Carla just won tabletop role-playing games.
Actually, just to add to that whole idea of like D&D LARPing. So in Cape Town at UCT, the way that they run their theatre LARPs is they run what happens is they call a freeze, and during the freeze frame, they actually roll dice for people to act.
Okay.
Okay.
And that's how I learned to live action role play, and I think it's a fantastic system. The LARPers that I know here in Joburg don't like it.
Very different
They're
thing.
rubbish. And they are the boffers. But yeah, like for me, I think it's more controlled. It also allows you to sort of, like, it gives you space to actually action out after you've determined how it's going to go. So there's no cheating involved because you're rolling dice.
Makes sense.
Cool. Come sit down. So now you guys need to plug your channel, otherwise all of this is pointless. So please, tell us where all of our viewers can find you.
Okay, you can find us at Dum Dum Die, spelled DUMDUMDIE, on Twitch, your favorite podcast channel app vibe. That's on Wednesdays. Twitch is on Tuesdays. You can also find us on all the socials at Dum Dum Die. You can mail us at dumdumdiepod@gmail.com. And you can probably stalk us personally, but like in a casual way. Maybe, okay, like, you know. Yeah. I mean, you know what I mean. In a non-creepy way. Like, don't be cuck, be lacquer. And you'll find us on the interwebs.
Yes, don't be cool.
Yeah. Yeah, guys, this is why I mustn't do things that I haven't scripted, because this is how I tell people where we live. Like, this is my problem.
Keep your mouth shut.
Boxing queen.
Okay, anyone else want to plug anything different from everyone?
No, I think that's it.
Just Dum Dum Die. Okay.
Oh. Wait, aside from the fact that occasionally on Twitch we stream on Sundays.
Yes.
Okay.
And we may or may not be having a Patreon coming in the next month, so that I can buy people snacks.
Snack-tastic. Oh, you can find me all over the internet at Geekoscopy. If it's mirrored right now, I'll help you with that. Okay, that's not gonna help. At Geekoscopy. Yeah, you can find me everywhere. Right now, I'm trying to work on my Twitch channel, so if you could go over and follow me at twitch.tv/Geekoscopy. Might be some interesting streams for you. I am twirtling. Is twirtling a word? I just made it with the idea of doing D&D on my channel in a very interesting way. So maybe you can tune in for that in the coming months.
Awesome.
Cool.
Okay. Okay, well, I'm the one who usually does this because Kez just doesn't have the excitement, apparently, from what she's told me.
No energy.
So I have to do all of this. Right, here we go. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook,
Twitch, YouTube, and TikTok.
There you go. See, I don't know why she makes me do it. She knows all the things.
She knows it.
you to say the things that he's never going to remember. Yeah.
You're asking the chief engineer to do the chief communications officer's job.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, I'm security, not engineer.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, you can follow us at all those places. You can follow us right here on Twitch. Actually, you should, because you know what? We've been playing Rock, and it's epic. That game rules. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you to you guys in the chat for joining us as well. We
That's
do
who we're
appreciate
talking to.
Yes.
I'm talking to them. I thought you were talking to
The chat's been having a lot of fun.
people. Thank you guys for watching us and being like the chat that you are. And to the Dum Dum Die ladies, thank you so much for joining us. We do appreciate it. It's been epic, as
Thanks for
usual.
having us.
Yeah.
But of course, why wouldn't we? It's like
Thank you.
that's how it works.
And on the D&D note, we are going to go and play Rusty. We're going to
go play
We're going to
Rusty.
go play Rusty. We're going to go raid Rusty, who is busy playing Dungeons and Dragons with his chat.
Yes. So
Oh, interesting.
everyone in the chat is going. Guys, thank you for joining us. It's always appreciated. And as always, remember, keep it geeky. Bye. Long forward because Kate's
Cheers.
After-
Freeze frame.
Okay.